It's a little cooler today. There's some shade around. Some might call it bush. But it's nice to look at. My first encounter with spying was in my marriage. I'm using the word spying because when someone is looking at you or following you around and you're not aware, I would consider that spying. Early 2020, right before COVID, I got a message from a family member saying that they've hired a private investigator to follow me. And this is somebody I'm close to. This is somebody that I leave my children with. This is somebody who I grew up with, was like a mother to me. So, even now, I don't even know what to say or what to make of it or explain how I felt, because it was a mixture of disappointment, confusion, letdown, anger. Letdown is disappointment, sadness, fright, and to think that this person hired a private investigator and that someone's been following me around and making reports on my private life to a family member. And I remember thinking that day, how childish can one be? You suspect I'm cheating because somebody's told you something, and you decide to have somebody follow me around. The emotion that won that day was being afraid for my safety, and my thought was to go to the police and make a report, just in case something happened, that they would know, hey, there's somebody following me around. The next day, the COVID lockdown happened, and so I didn't end up going to make that police report. I don't know if my family member messaged me that as a tactic to scare me or try to get her truth, whatever her truth is, which clearly is not the truth. But I always had that in the back of my mind throughout 2020, throughout 2021, that there might be somebody following me. I have had instances where I was in the pool at the complex where I live with the children, and I saw this particular black car circle 5 times, each time slowing down by the pool. I'll have to cut this short and continue later. I don't get much time to do these things, so it is what it is. 5 days later, I'm now getting time to continue what I was talking about regarding the spying. And I have my documentation in front of me here. So it was June 2021 when I noticed he was late one day in picking up the kids, and at the time we still had GPS location shared. Don't ask me why, that was stupid. And it showed him, looked like he was in the vicinity behind my home for about 30 minutes. That's the day I believe that he met with the person that was in charge of compound maintenance where I live. And I think it was there that he was asking him questions about what was going on in my household and asking him to report anything he noticed to him, which equates to me as spying. This is the area where I live, and that's where you're supposed to feel comfort and security, and I wasn't feeling any of that. He actually did approach me a few months later and let me know that he was approached by my ex, and in fact, so he confirmed what I was thinking and said right away that he had told my ex he wasn't going to get involved. He didn't notice anything strange and he wasn't going to get involved. I was still uncomfortable being on the compound, knowing that my ex had approached him in the first place. I noted this information to the court, and my ex denied it. My ex also said that I alienate the children from the community, that they don't have any social relationships, and said that this compound manager advised him of that in March 2024. I'm not sure if there's a requirement. I don't think there's a requirement to have social relationships within a community. We did not feel safe there because of this whole spying thing that was going on. I approached the compound manager and he denied all of this, and in fact he left a message for my ex, a voice message, asking him to cease and desist, otherwise he would contact the police. He said he told him already he didn't want his name involved, and he's not reporting anything to me. He also denied that he said anything relating to the children and their social interactions. Compound manager told me that about a month ago, my ex approached him via phone asking him if he would testify, to which he put my ex in his place. Said the only thing he would testify about is making sure his name stays out of this. So that's 2 incidents. The other witness the Children's Authority told me was provided by my ex was neighbor. Of course she couldn't tell me which neighbor, and I don't need to know. But there are only a few neighbors that could see into my backyard, because apparently the neighbor was approached by my ex to give any information regarding abuse or whatever they see happening to the children, and one of them told him that they saw the child standing in the sun in the backyard. The children stand in the sun at volleyball, at football, at scouts, swimming all the time, so I'm not sure how that equates to abuse. Maybe somebody could enlighten me. But this neighbor was called as a witness to the Children's Authority. Since I don't know exactly which neighbor, I had been again put in a state of discomfort living in this gated compound that's supposed to be secure, because now I don't know who else is spying on my every move, everything I do with the children, everything my partner does with the children. And I lived like that for 3 or 4 years until I was a general contractor that I used during the marriage, and after marriage I continued using him. He was trustworthy, slightly expensive but not too expensive, somebody I could leave alone and trust not to take anything. This individual, who was doing some works for me in 2021, told me, this is again after my dad had a stroke, told me he was approached by my ex and asked to meet in Orangway, Savannah, which he did, and he was asked to spy on me and report anything to my ex. He said my ex didn't offer money because this contractor is the type of person that would accept money because he's not in the best position financially. So he would have considered accepting money, but my ex was not prepared to give him any money. And he came and told me that he didn't see anything. He heard some loud talking, but he hadn't seen anything. And that this was all because my ex was jealous of the person I was with. That day I visited the Santa Cruz police station to make a report, and WPC Phillip there advised me that they can't take a report or act on it unless that contractor came forward, and she advised me to seek a protection order against my ex, which of course I was stupid again, I didn't. And the contractor did not want to get involved with the authorities. I mean, why should he, right? But a month later, my ex came to pick up some stuff from the garage where he was still storing stuff and not paying rent. And he saw something missing. And I said maybe somebody stole it, or maybe that contractor borrowed it. And he asked if he could come inside and look for some other stuff. Well, I said no, because I'm aware now of these spies and I don't want him spying himself, so I said no. Then he asked for the contractor's number to call and ask him if he took it. And I'm thinking, but you have his number. You just called him a month ago to meet you in Orangway, Savannah. So I told him the contractor was upstairs, and he said to call him down, as if he's still the man of the house, telling me to call him down. So I said, no, he's working. But then the contractor did come down, and my ex asked him about the item that was missing. And the contractor was looking confused and said to my ex, but you said I could take whatever I wanted. I guess then, when my ex realized he was caught, meaning that the bribe that he made to the contractor came to light, he changed the subject. He brushed it off and he said it's okay if the contractor wanted to use something, let him use it. So I left both of them chatting by the door, and I went by the car. And when I was coming back, my ex, who was chatting with the contractor, stopped abruptly and then said loudly, so the contractor and I could hear, that if the contractor wanted to use anything, ask him first. When he left, the contractor then told me that my ex was asking him about if he got any info on me as yet. He was upset because he said he didn't like how my ex made him look bad, as if he was stealing something when he was the one who had told him to go ahead and take or use anything he needed. So again, another month after that, this contractor told me that my ex contacted him and asked for his support. He told me he hired a lawyer and he needed his support. But my ex was not prepared to offer money. My last contact with that contractor was a phone call saying my ex asked him to meet again at Arangwes Savannah, and it sounded like he wanted to talk to him about getting someone from Laventil to do something to me or scare me and the children. In the same conversation, he told me he needed some money to build a house, $3,500 to build a house, and that he would pay me back. I kind of interpreted this as this is the money I needed to pay in order for my ex not to hire somebody, or not to use my contractor to hire somebody to do something to me and the children. So I gave him the money and I never saw him again. The same way that my compound manager was contacted about a month ago, I understand my ex has been trying to contact this contractor, but I don't know if he's been successful. I understand that WhatsApp messages can be used as evidence. Here's what I have in terms of that contractor. I know my ex will say, with AI that this is fabricated and cannot be authenticated. I guess there may be some way to contact WhatsApp to verify. All these examples to say my family and I, meaning my children, myself, my partner, have been living under uncomfortable, unsafe conditions. These things have been constantly in my mind. Where I go, who's following me, who's looking out for me in the neighborhood I was in. Now that I've moved, it feels a little more safe, but again, I don't know who my ex knows there. And the fact that he's still contacting my compound manager and ex-old contractor tells me he still has, nothing's changed in his mind. And he denies asking anybody to spy on me. Another thing, sometime when I went to Tampa with the children, that's the first trip I went on after the divorce with the children. He asked them if they went to some water park, and he told them he has eyes on them and me everywhere, even when I'm away, even when I'm in Miami. These things I do not take lightly. These things I take as a security threat. It's taken a toll. It's taken a toll, the lengths this man has gone to try. All of this is to try to find evidence to get me to break up with my partner, evidence of some sort of abuse, to try to get me to break up with my partner. This is all driven by jealousy and ego. I don't know. I try to get a lesson from each thing I post here. I try to say something I've learned. WhatsApp can be used as evidence in court for emotional abuse. However, people can abuse WhatsApp by deliberately posting messages there to the other person, so they can have evidence that they said something. For example, that they asked about school, or they asked about a subject, or to say they were at a particular event, or to ask about how much money is owed with no intention of paying it back. So you can show the court that you asked this or you said this. WhatsApp can be used as part of creating a false narrative. Another thing I didn't know, this is another naive part of me, but I did not know at the time that we had private investigators for hire in Trinidad. Another thing, your family can and will turn against you, depending the type of people they are, depending on who gets to them first, especially the older members. Mainly the older members. Only the older members, in my case, actually. When I say turn against you, I mean take word for word everything that's coming out of your ex's mouth, his narrative about your partner, and swallow it without asking you your opinion or your side of what happened, without even meeting your partner, to judge for themselves. They put your things out on the road. You're not allowed in their home. They willingly open their gate for your ex to park your vehicle in their yard, but you have to stay out in the road. They will not watch your children if you drop them off there. If your partner is in the car, what you would need to do is drop your partner down the road, leave him on the pavement, go drop your children off, then go pick him back up down the road from the pavement where you left him. And the last thing I've learned is how tremendously unsafe your life can feel, how uncomfortable you are everywhere you go. Everywhere you go. For about 2 to 3 years, I could not drive alone. I had to have my partner in the car with me, and that led to me missing some crucial moments to be there for my father. That's another topic as well.